My name is Marie-Sylvestre Belanger and I'm the Executive Director here at the Yukon Quest in Whitehorse. I've done 3 years as the Operations Manager and now I'm the Executive Director. The logistics of this race are monumental. If I start after a race, so we're in March, we're doing all the financials of the previous year and planning for the coming year. We actually start planning even 1.5 years ahead on some of the events. Sponsorship starts in March. Already we have to start hitting sponsorship. So that's an ongoing thing in the background or in the foreground with all this. Around May or June, we're all planning who to put in our key roles like the race marshal, head vet, race manager. Sign-up day is in August where mushers can come and do their official sign-up. And that's usually an event that we put maybe for a volunteer party. The public is very interested to see who are the first mushers signing up. And then September, already the logistics, the race manager is in place, the logistics have to start. We need trail markers. That's 10,000 trail markers for the whole trail needs to be produced. Those markers cost on average $1 to $1.50 just to produce with the materials. So it's getting a crew of people to do it for us. And this year we were lucky because we had the correctional facility of Whitehorse who produced all the markers for us. It was one of their activities to get them going a little bit. So this is all done for us. The Alaska side is doing theirs. We, on average, have to distribute along the trail about 45,000 pounds of bags that the mushers are putting into our custody, which contains majority is going to be dog food at the different checkpoints. The communications are a huge challenge. We're in the north. We need high-speed internet, wireless, telephone that works, that we can call headquarters if there's an emergency, but also to report the current standings. So this all has to be set up through our sponsors and through volunteers going up the trail, setting that up in each of our venues at the checkpoints. Checkpoint supplies that we need to bring up, and then we have to feed the mushers and the people on the trail. The logistic of the vehicles, I'm renting 17 vehicles this year through a sponsor. The coordination is endless. But for me personally, it's part of the big fun. When we start getting into the logistics, it means that the race is really around the corner.
Charms of earth, farewell, your springs of joy are dry. My soul now seeks another home, a brighter world on high. I'm a long-time traveling here below. I'm a long-time traveling away from I'm a long-time traveling here below to lay this body down. Farewell, kind friends whose tender care has long engaged my love. Your fond embrace I now exchange for better friends above.
We've got 2 board of directors and 2 offices with staff, and it's pretty equal. The Yukon Quest office in Whitehorse will be responsible for fundraising our part of the budget, making sure that the trail on the Canadian side is put right and to the standards that we want, and also putting all the events that are going on here are volunteer based on this side and a membership based on this side. The Alaska office will do similar on their side as well. I probably talk with my counterparts in Alaska 3-4 times a day, now probably 8 or 10 times a day. And that's the key. We have to be in contact all the time. And I personally try and enjoy traveling. I go to Fairbanks in the summer 3-4 times a year. Meeting face to face makes all the difference. We talk, we smile, we connect, we regroup, and we keep going ahead. It's a double-edged sword, but I think for me, in the most part, I enjoy that. Yeah.
Okay, when it gets down to 12 o'clock on here, you're going to tell me in 4 minutes, and I might put in a few other questions, what it is about the Yukon Quest that makes it so special. Because I sat with you this afternoon and you just gave me everything. You've got 4 minutes, go.
So the thing that's really special about the Yukon Quest is it belongs to everybody. It's something about living and breathing history. Up here in the north, we are so close to our history that we can actually reach out and touch it with people like 94-year-old Nellie Briggs, whose dad and brother were the last mail runners for the U.S. Postal Service. And Nellie is still alive. She still lives in Eagle. And she comes in and visits us every year just to tell us how proud she is of us.
Are you going to get us an interview with her?
I don't know. I've never been able to get anybody to interview her.
Never.
She's that introverted and she's that stubborn and says no. But she will sit without an interview and talk to you forever. So if you had a hidden microphone, she can't see anymore. She doesn't
I don't want to do it like that. I'd rather sit and chat with her, and if she agrees.
Ask John Board. Yeah. Ask John Board. Yeah. But and there's another person who was the post office in Eagle and spent all of his time, every year he's been with the Quest since 1983. Our first race was in '84, and when we started it, we didn't even have a name for it.
So what about you? What about you, Martin? When did you start?
Well, I got involved with the race in 1983, right before it started. I was one of the people that was blessed enough to be able to help put it together. And I did because I had 27 dogs in my yard, and I meant to run it. And I ended up running it instead of running in it. And 5 years later, I look at this kind of like it's my firstborn. And a couple of decades later, I actually came back for some insane reason. Actually, not so insane, to meet old friends. Because there's people that have been involved with us for 28 years, 29 years. We have people working for us now whose parents were involved in the beginning, a second generation of Quest people. How incredible is that? Each community that we go through, and you'll have that privilege to do this, you will see where they talk about this as their quest. It belongs to them. It takes 1,000 people to go 1,000 miles, and you're going to meet a bunch of them. They're all going to tell you a different story. They're all on their own quest. It's unbelievable. And it's kind of like, we live in a really special place. We're privileged to live someplace where there's so much room. Yeah. We can do 2,000-mile sled dog races, and they come nowhere near each other. Ours, we kind of pick up another country, but we're all the same people. We're peoples of the north, and that gives us a bond, and the dogs give us an even bigger bond. So we use the dogs. We're privileged to be owned by them, and they haul us all over the place, and they take us to some of the most incredible places. We feed them, we care for them, we do everything they want for us, and they take us home.
Have you been a musher?
I'm probably owned by 12 dogs right now.
You are?
I am. They own me hook, line, and sinker. I have 12 Siberians who are actually related to the Chukchi dogs that came over from Russia. Because, in 1902, Leonard Seppala brought over Siberians.
And you go out sledding with them?
Yes.
You take them out regularly?
We have a cabin. Well, no, not right now. My dogs are being completely neglected. Well, my husband is spending time with them, but it's not the same.
How much time have we got? Hang on. We've got... we've got 35 seconds, Marty. So if you, what is it about the Quest that makes it the toughest race in the world? Just to finish up with.
There's only 9 checkpoints, 9 places to stop in 1,000 miles. This is the Yukon River. It's rugged. Mother Nature is very mean in our climate. So this is not only a challenge for the environment, but it's a challenge for you, and it's life or death.
Brilliant. Marty, you've got 4 seconds left. Thank you very much. And we'll see you on the trail.
I hope so, and if not,
Yeah.
you will not be the same. No, it will become part of your heart. And just remember, at all the meetings, you should stand up and say, "Hi, my name is Mark, and I'm a Yukon Quest addict."
Yeah. Thanks, Marty. Fantastic.
Blown it.
As far as volunteers go, we're very lucky, the Yukon Quest in general, because it is a very attractive event to volunteer for. They come up here, they spend money for their flights, their hotels. We can't afford to pay them for these things because we have over 800 volunteers for the whole trail. But they're happy to come up, and that's the beauty of it. They come back every year, and in all honesty, for me, this is the part that excites me the most. I am so happy to see them coming in. We just had one this morning from Australia. This lady comes back now the 4th year in a row. She spends the flights, she buys membership from us, she buys her banquet tickets, she supports us in 2 different checkpoints in both countries. And she's fabulous, in a good mood, loves us, keeps coming back. They seem to get attached to a few positions that they've done, and they connect with the people there, and they seem to want to do this again. And it varies between doing checkpoint work. They could be selling raffle tickets in Whitehorse, so the local community is helping us a lot with that too, helping us at events, banquet venues, selling merchandise, serving coffee, doing admin work at the office. I have this girl here from Germany right now. It's the 2nd year she comes in. 3 times a week, she's answering the phone and doing anything we need in the office right now. And it's crucial. You should see the face on me and Fabian, who's the operations manager. He's just like, the whole shoulders went, you know. If you want to volunteer, the best is to contact the office or the country where you want to volunteer. So if, let's say, the Yukon site, you contact us, either by telephone or on this website, there's a sign up to volunteer. And then we have a whole plethora of jobs that we can have for you. If you want to do 4 hours and that's all you want to do, that's fine with us. And if you want to do 4 weeks, we can do 4 weeks. And depending on the position, if you want to volunteer in a checkpoint, we need somebody that has outdoors experience, that can handle being awake for 8 to 12 hours in the dark in -40, not showering for 3 days, sleeping on the floor next to a smelly handler that snores. That's the reality on the trail for all of us. This race would never ever happen without the volunteers. And through the past 30 years, it started with volunteers. There was no staff to start with. People just got together, let's put on this race. And 30 years later, they're still there, they're still coming back. They can be 18 years old, they can be 72. They do variety from around the world. I've got this girl from South Africa that came for 3 months to help me in the office almost every day. The variety, and we just like, whatever you can provide for me, fabulous, and we'll plug you in there. And we're always happy to see them back, and they keep coming back, and it's fabulous, yeah.
At this point, we're in Central, and it's the night of the 2nd day of the race, and our lead pack is mostly through Central, and it's a pretty predictable lead pack. It's kind of the folks who you expect to see up there. We're starting to have the second half of the field getting into Central now. There's just a few teams left in 101. We have 1 team left to see arrive at 101 still, and then we'll be able to start, having our projections of when 101 will close down, and we'll be moving all of our personnel and all of our logistics up here to Central as our rear point, and we'll just kind of keep moving our advanced teams forward with the leaders and sweeping up in the back as we go, and kind of just moving our whole show forward.
Yeah. Just give us an idea of who's standing where at the moment.
Well, right now, Brent Sass and Alan Moore are both really up there. Sonny Linder as well. Those 3 are really looking very competitive. It's very early in the race. There's a long way to go, and anybody who would think that you can get a whole lot from it right now would be mistaken.
Brent's pretty focused this year, yeah?
Oh yeah. He's focused, and he's given it his all. But like I say, it's very early still, and so there's a lot left to unfold.
And you? What do you do outside of here?
Well, I do project support work in my normal life, and I'm a dog mushing fan in the winter. And this is my 10th year being involved with the Yukon Quest in one way or another, and my first year managing the race.
Yeah, cool. And Sue tells me you're very popular with the fans. Is that right?
Is that right?
Yeah, she does actually.
Whoa, hey,
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. A lot of it probably comes from a lot of years of volunteering for the race, and so a lot of the folks who are fans of the race are also volunteers, and so the lines are very blurred between who's a friend and who's a volunteer, and did they start out as a friend or did they start out as a volunteer. It's a real big group of people that are just, it's incredible, the people coming together to put the race on, and that's probably
I was going to say, behind the scenes the stress levels must be pretty high. I mean, I see everybody working so hard. I mean, Sue's working her socks off. And
for sure.
Yeah.
There's a tremendous amount going into it, and it's everything from flight scheduling and making sure that you can move people forward to making sure that you can retrieve a spot tracker or get a pair of boots moved forward, to somebody who needs them. It just runs the whole gamut of stuff that needs to get done, and it's all important, it's all very important, and so we're working hard on it, and I have an incredible team of people that are volunteering to help me with my side of things, and I've got a ton of confidence in them, and so it keeps my anxiety low because I'm just working with really good people.
Great. Thanks, Josh. Sorry. Thanks
yeah, sure.
Much.
Yeah, thank you.
The communities are essential to the success of this race, and it's been a pleasure every year to work with them. So if I start, Whitehorse, this is the main community that supports us not only financially but also with loyal fans and supporters and volunteers. So in Whitehorse, we've got Shipyards Park, which is the start of the race. Braeburn, it's a tiny little shack, no offense to Steve, that sells the best cinnamon buns ever, but it's a small little space for 50 mushers, 50 handlers, media, 14 vets, 6 officials, the PR team, and then staff going up the trail. And so Braeburn is essential to us. It's 100 miles up the trail. We have to have a point to look at the dogs and make sure they're doing okay. Then we get to Carmax, and then again the community gets together there. We've had a checkpoint manager now that's been coming back for, I think it's her 5th or 6th year in a row. And so she knows the drill really well. We use the rec center there. And it'll be very busy this year because the main race has a 4-hour stop and the 300 mushers have a 6-hour stop. So if you guys want to go up the trail, this is where to go after Braeburn. It's going to be very busy and lots of activity. And the community gets together, they help us with, plowing around, so we have a dog yard, we can park all those teams. And just the whole rec center is open to us to use, and that's for free. That's the community opening their doors to us. Then we get in Pelly Crossing, and fun fact about Pelly this year, we have a whole grade of the school is cooking the food for us as an educational part of the school year for them. They're cooking for mushers, they're cooking for us. They're doing the banquet for the 300 as well. And I've just spoke with the principal yesterday, and they're super excited of helping us with that. And then we get into Dawson, where the mushers have a 36-hour mandatory stop. We always have a volunteer or community appreciation party there. Everybody's invited, the public, the media. It's just a way of, in the middle of the race, catching up. We do that at the Dawson City Museum. It's a good place for people also to go up because you can walk to the camping ground across the river where all the teams are parked and the dogs are resting. And that's where our vet team looks at every single elbow, everything at each dog to make sure that they're ready to go and they can keep going for the other half of the race. And then it's off American Summit, and a challenging piece of trail for sure in the Alaska side.
There's a caribou wind blowing from the north. The Peace River springs from its source. A bush pilot flies a course for the bull camps. The raven cries and the loon calls. Indian summer in the early fall. Black bear rug hanging on a cabin wall. The trap line set and the cordwood cut. Racks in the smokehouse all filled up. Fresh game on the backs of the hunters' trucks. Where huskies and Husqvarnas are are the tools of the trade. With the Kodiaks and the cougar cats staking out a claim. The magnetic needle guides the way to the barrens and the Arctic straits, and chainsaws and sled dogs, they won't let you down. 1,000 miles north of 100-mile house. Chilkoot grave stories of old, gravel in the riverbed heavy with gold, wolverine tracks in the silence of the snow. Hear the lead dogs neath the northern lights, the muskeg roads are a bridge of ice, the glaciers creeping closer all the time. There's a moose in the timber, frail and old, he's growing weak and the wolves are close, they leave behind nothing but his bones. Where huskies and husqvarnas are the tools of the trade, with the Kodiaks and the cougar cats staking out a claim. The magnetic needle guides the way to the barrens and the Arctic straits, and chainsaws and sled dogs, they won't let you down. 1,000 miles north of 100-mile house. The trappers and the traders tell how they came for the beaver pelts and found the seeping sands at Norman Wells. In the dark of night on the haul road, there's shining eyes and dark shadows, a few remaining woodland buffaloes. See the legends of the northern road in the eyes of the Malamute. The spirit of the great bear stands through. Where huskies and husqvarnas are the tools of the trade, with the Kodiaks and the cougar cats staking out a claim. The magnetic needle guides the way to the barrens and the Arctic straits, and chainsaws and sled dogs, they won't let you down. 1,000 miles north of 100-mile house.
This year for the 30th, we have a whole bunch of events that are coming up. On Saturday, January 26th and Sunday the 27th, free mushing rides to the public. It's 11 to 3 p.m. on both days, so during the daytime, it's your time to see the dogs, touch the dogs. And the weekend of the 26th and 27th, the McBride is having an exhibit on the Yukon Quest on the 30 years of the quest and the history of the sport of mushing. They're going to offer free admission for all kids to come in. They're also going to have a little trivia questionnaire for the kids, and the kids should keep a hold of them because we're hoping to get them to come to Quest Fest during the week, and if they have all the answers right, they're going to get a free prize from the Quest. Monday the 28th up to February 1st, we have the Quest Fest that starts at the Old Fire Hall right next to our offices. We're going to have presentations by Hugh Neff, who's the current champion from last year. John Firth will be around to do a bit of the history of the Quest. Karine Grenier and Marcel Frissino will be talking presentations in French about mushing. And it's just a place to convene, to meet up, ask questions, buy raffle tickets or banquet tickets. There's still some left. And we're going to be open every day. Come and ask your questions. That's your chance to just touch base on who's running, any changes, what's going on. So the Wednesday the 30th is our Meet the Mushers. That's the free event. It's at Mount Mac. It starts at 6:30 in the evening up to 10. All the mushers will be present from both races because the mushers from the 1,000 miles will be there to sign posters and any kind of memorabilia for the public. And then the 300 mushers are there to draw their bibs and start order. So that's where we're going to know who's going to start first for the 300. On the 31st is our start and draw banquet. And that's where the mushers of the main race will be drawing their bibs for their start order. The tickets are $75. We still have them available here in the office. We're going to have a silent auction to raise money for the race. A whole buffet served by the High Country Inn, and we have another little surprise for the banquet planned, and I'm not going to reveal that right away. You should come to the banquet to see that. And then of course the start of the race, Saturday the 2nd. The main race starts at 11 a.m. and then the 300 race will start at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. But come on down around 8 o'clock. All the dog trucks will be around, and that's your chance to come into the dog yard and spend some time and see the dogs and the mushers. For security reason, we will be closing the dog yard around 10 a.m., just an hour before the race, because we need to make sure that there's no public around. When the teams are shooting to get into the start line, it can be dangerous. Those dogs are hyper and they want to get running. And so come early. If you want to walk around and meet the mushers, come early and you're going to get your chance for sure. Look at our website. We have the live tracking that follows every single musher on the trail, so you can see the speed they're going, where they're stopping, and who's first. Our offices will be open during the race. We're going to have somebody here to answer your questions. Stop by and say hi. These are volunteers helping us out. They'll be happy to chat and let you know what's going on with our race.